champion in Azir. Then Bjergsen got the quadra kill on that very Azir. If anything changes, I would expect a higher priority on that champion in this matchup.
I mean, I know we're not the only ones. While Azir is powerful himself, if you look at the players that play him, it's kind of like Azir at the top. Then there's a bigger gap than any other champions as you go down the list in how well they're going to carry and the skill that they can put out on that champion. And Phoenix and Bjergsen both kind of have that space between their next second-tier champion. We'll see if Azir gets through again here. Maybe Bjergsen first picks it up. It would be kind of scary, though. Lulu Echo, really banned out. All right, so no safety craziness coming from the jungle here. Team Liquid changing up their bans just a little bit.
Yeah, Nidalee and Elise both still possible. A lot less top lane focus as far as the bans this time around.
Wow.
No top lane focus this time around.
Not at all. The Olaf, the Alistar can still get through. The Nidalee can still get through. There's a lot of different bans here that allow the top tier picks these teams have been using.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to see some adjustments. Team Liquid, known as one of the most versatile teams
There's the Olaf.
in the North American regular season. Team Solomid also prides themselves on their ability to adapt mid-series, so not that big of a surprise that we see some departures here in the ban phase.
Yeah, everyone always talks about Phoenix Azir, and rightfully so. He's very good on it. He is also undefeated on Twisted Fate, even though it's only 2 games. He did have great games and earned himself a 21 KDA for the champion.
Pretty good.
It's decent.
So just
doing all right.
Yeah, just Echo as a jungler, banned out. Who and what is going to happen? I guess he'll flex that as Olaf as well. Easy top, easy jungle. 20 seconds for the first pick. The Nidalee does go through to Santorin, something he's been able to control the game on very nicely lately.
Yeah. So both the Alistar and Braum go through as well.
Pick a support besides John.
Yeah, one thing that happens with the Nidalee is does have weaknesses. It's weak to hard CC, burst damage, and tanks. So those are all things Team Liquid can still build into, but obviously Santorin played the Nidalee 3 times in the quarterfinals. The surprising thing here actually is the fact that because Nidalee's on TSM side, that X Special opts for Alistar instead of Braum. I feel like Braum is a pick that is better in that aspect, but the Alistar has his own strengths, like early game turret diving.
Yeah, plus the Alistar combo is very threatening for Nidalee as well. You don't have to block the spear if you just charge and kill her.
Yeah. Well, you will block it while charging and killing her, but it's not going to do much.
Just eat it for breakfast on the way in. Waiting for the picks up here from Team Solomid. These 2 picks were actually Liquid last time, going for a blind mid. See if TSM uses any more safety here as they go through. And it is just going to be the top and support. The Braum gets picked up on the side of Team Solomid.
Yeah, top laners swapping hats this game if that Gnar is actually locked in here. Quas and Dyrus played the opposite champion in the past game. As far as the actual inbuilt synergies here, Braum is always good with the more ranged auto attackers you can build into a team. TSM so far 2 for 2 with the things they're comboing with Braum.
Able to lock it down. I liked it with the Azir last time as well. Getting all your auto attacks in. Piglet, going to be hovering. Saw Imp playing some Twitch recently. Not more than that, really. Wasn't able to get a victory out of that game. Lucian not having too good of a year in the LCS. Actually, haven't seen Sivir in this composition or in this series as well either. No bans or picks yet as we come into our second game. Team Liquid taking their time. A lot of options here.
Look at all the notes Peter has. So many different things to go through with picks and bans, but he's not looking at any of them right now. He's just communicating with Phoenix and Piglet. What comp are they going to go for? Piglet has always favored Vayne. Fnatic earlier in the day was favoring Sivir. Also, Lucian is coming back in LCK type regions. There's a lot of different options they have to go for here. I think Sivir is the choice here for Team Liquid if they want to go for a team fight comp. There we go.
Elise through all the way. Piglet loving just flashing a few champions before he always locks in. Little Twitch love showed on the side from Lustboy as well as they put that over the hover. Elise was also locked in for Dominate this game, so we'll have another game on Elise. Maybe more aggressive this time. Seemed pretty relaxed last game. Not too many ganks from him.
Yeah, I really do like Elise into Nidalee because she can put out a lot of early game pressure. Also, if Nidalee goes for those invades and tries to get into your jungle, Elise with the Fog of War advantage, combos her really, really well. Plus, if Elise has to be the one running away, Spiderlings can block spears. A lot of little things for her.
Another Azir pickup from Bjergsen. Everyone knows what that means. We just saw the quadra kill last game. It wasn't a heavy priority again for Team Liquid. They feel like they can get around it or play the style they already had in mind.
Yeah,
That's dangerous,
they're
though.
really putting value on Phoenix's counter-picking mid lane here because they easily could have had it themselves. They didn't need to pick Elise since the opponent had already taken a jungler. And I really want to see what type of value they get out of this last pick from Team Liquid. Because Azir is Phoenix's best champion, and he has been first picked in the past, but not in this series.
Yeah, this time around, TSM do have one less frontline member with Santorin going with Nidalee instead, and Team Liquid have the speed boost of Sivir to get the reliable engage of Alistar and Maokai to that back line. So Team Liquid do have a better chance of getting back there to kill the Jinx this time around.
Been a while if that is the lock-in. I was expecting a Victor to come through. Usually it whittles down to him so far in the mid lane. He can do a pretty good job at controlling it, controlling those waves. We'll see how now Victor versus Azir goes. It was Lulu versus Azir last time. We're going to keep an eye on that mid lane here. A lot of lane swaps coming in from TSM last time. It was kind of that loss that they gained in the lane swaps, or the deficit I should say, kind of counteracted by Turtle's 10 kills in the end. So
yeah.
I don't know if they don't get that going again, will it work as well? Because they could have just as easily fallen behind there without Turtle getting 6 kills right away.
Yeah, they got caught in some team fights right here, and Team Liquid did draft a better team fighting composition this time. If there would be a split-pushing pick-type team, maybe it's a little bit more on TSM side here with the Gnar and the Nidalee, so maybe they're just going for a more team-fighty team. A little perplexed that they didn't go with the Azir early on, but Victor is an answer to Azir as far as being a similar type of dumping damage in a team fight mage.
Victor's no slouch. Also brings them plenty of wave clear. Team Liquid have both Victor and Sivir. They should be able to control all 3 waves fairly easily. Another hug.
/r. So as we move in now, both teams have again locked in. Update your votes on Twitter. Send hashtag TSM win or hashtag TL win. So we know how you at home are calling this series. Right now, TSM hoping it falls in their favor once again. Team Liquid looking to keep Team Solomid off of game point here. We're going into game 2, our second quarterfinals here for the North American LCS. We're about to be on the Rift with Team Solomid versus Team Liquid.
Have to remember the winner of this series goes on to face CLG in the NALCS final. CLG qualified yesterday. TSM was the 5th seed coming into the playoffs. Team Liquid the #1 seed. But TSM has made every single finals in LCS history, so they are not your average 5 seed. That's for sure.
A little bit better of a record there. TL has made all playoffs, just not the best results in their playoffs when they were able to reach them from 2013 on. Here, they're trying to change that. They're trying to rewrite new history for themselves. They broke the curse. Now they get the chance to try to do that from first place in the regular season. See where the early wards once again get placed. You see the pings, where their trajectory is. They'll be getting those down quite safely. A little back and forth in the mid lane as they trade some HP, but no potions used. What a song. Song of the Summoner people.
It's really interesting, actually. Team Liquid going for the same wards that TSM did in the start of last game. So pretty much mirrored lane swap styles early on in this match.
Piglet is already down in the bottom lane. Recalling right now, though, to swap.
Yeah, maybe TSM tries to disrupt a sapling prep. It's actually pretty rare nowadays that a Maokai can prep a camp fully and get away with it. Teams are on the lookout for Maokais to do the early level 1 camp with the sapling preparation, but because TSM doesn't have vision, this would actually be a very dangerous stop.
Here comes the late invade on red.
Yeah.
Phoenix will be able to get the small raptors, but TSM going to steal this away.
What is going to happen up top? All right, they split off. Easy peasy there. No danger for what looks like dominating quads.
We got a
on the
crowd
top
up
side.
here.
Yeah. Could be a party here if they see each other. They know the small Bramblebacks are attacking, so they understand that TSM's still there.
Yep. There's an experience advantage right here for Team Liquid, a pretty hefty one actually. TSM got combined about half a level, which is how much the actual red buff gives you, not counting the small monsters. But Team Liquid killed both Krugs and the small monsters, so a cumulative level of experience ahead on that side.
People forget that. So interested about the buff, and you got to get out. Even that experience picked up by Liquid.
Plus, it's just the red buff, too. So unless you really see Santorin ganking early and making use of some auto attacks on champions, they get very little out of that invade.
Yeah.
And Team Liquid just happily take the experience advantage and continue their jungling.
Something I always thought about in the beginning when kind of wasn't 2v2 all the time was, what are they doing with that buff? Are they backing? That's like 20 wasted seconds. Is it going to be useful? Now it just seems they use it to farm, like you said, Kobe. Not too many of those early ganks. See, 2v2 in the top lane. You're not going to get too many swaps this game. Right now, the mid laners, Phoenix very low, but Bjergsen also low on mana, so he's going to have to wait to do that again. A lot more aggression than we usually see, that's for sure. Ooh. So back and forth, even trade for now. Bjergsen calling to the team, saying there may be somebody giving me a little bit of love in the mid lane, and warding the top side might actually, no, Quas pulls off. Unfortunate.
Someone else noticed the aggression in the mid lane, and it was Quas, so he was hoping to catch Bjergsen on an aggressive harassment pattern. But he also didn't want to waste too much time because they have to continue these lane swaps to keep up with each other.
Yep, so they do swap.
One interesting thing that happened is Quas went down to the bottom lane to catch the farm early since he had a small experience advantage, and immediately went to shoving the lane. And he actually ended up forcing Dyrus into a teleport before he shopped with any of his jungle experience or gold. And he was also low health. If Team Liquid wouldn't have gone for the roam mid, they actually would have had an opportunity to kill Dyrus bottom lane. Either way, though, it puts Quas at quite an advantage that Dyrus had to teleport without shopping there, and was only able to pick up the remnants of a wave that crashed into the turret.
See how he controls the rest of that wave on the top side. Still focused on mid. Looks like Santorin's going to come flying through with a bit of that passive movement speed, looking to at least push Phoenix out of lane. He almost gets a nice spear, but great dodge by Phoenix. He knows how to play the lane very safe. And should probably expect a bit more of that harassment to come into the mid lane. I don't feel like Santorin's going to give him a very easy game. When he's on his Italy, he's farming hard and making an appearance whenever he can.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dominate had the first return base, so he's back out on the map with the extra wards earlier. He's sitting up on top side, though. And Dyrus does have his defensive trinket ward up at least. Waiting for it to die. They actually had a really good timing on that defensive trinket ward up top. Dominate moved in right when the ward died and put this pink ward down. But counter gank is ready here for TSM. This could end very poorly for Team Liquid.
Yeah, they're going to opt into the minion wave right now. I think Santorin, yeah, he showed. It's a dangerous game there. Dyrus could have tried to bait it in a little bit more, but then he would risk getting bursted out. The level 4 damage from release is immense.
Yeah. Team Liquid really wanted to set that one right when the ward died. Quas tipped Dominate off as to when Dyrus went down to place it. But both junglers heading topside, non-action.
Definitely more pressure from Dominate's jungle, though, this time. A little bit more, I should say, definitely. We'll see if he goes back for another attempt, and it does look like he's hovering. With that pink ward coverage, they for sure have something. See if he can get the hop off the head. He does. Should have waited for the hop with the CC down, but they still go for the kill. No twisted advance to follow. Is it on cooldown? Yeah, unfortunate. Kind of almost excited to get that one there. But Dyrus using a jump to get out nice and easy, and he'll have no trouble. Teleport still looking to come up for him on the top side, so he's going to have to weather a bit of the storm now as he lost that health before he can go back. Bottom lane 48 to 50, pretty much even there, as like you said, both teams swapping in that early game, trying to get an advantage or just throw the other team off a little bit.
Yeah, the interesting thing here, still small advantages from the Team Liquid side lanes. I mean, TSM lost the top lane battle, the AD carry CS battle, so badly in game 1, but still pulled together with some nice team fighting and teamwork. This game, it's the start of a similar story. Quas really with that CS advantage just based off of the experience in the teleport game that was played early on, not to mention the return ganks from out of Dominate. It'll be interesting to see how Team Liquid can push this and if they can create similar advantages that they had in the previous game, despite not having as powerful laners in those lanes.
Bjergsen's still having the time of his life here, getting the auto attacks in whenever he needs his soldiers, so they don't have to worry about that lane. But we'll have to see if Santorin puts any more pressure on these outside lanes. Like you said, a little bit of a lead. And with Team Liquid now and Sivir for Piglet, going to be a lot more engaged from them to be able to get into these fights. See where they go from here. Santorin still clearing out the jungle. He's going to maybe head towards the top side here. Blue buff's up. Looks like he's actually going to turn around and grab that one for himself. So Team Solomid, again, very slow early game, letting Bjergsen charge up, letting the rest of the teams have the safe lane.
Dominate has been so active on the map early in the game here, but he's yet to land a successful gank. Even so, Team Liquid is still getting a pressure advantage out of this. This is one of those early games where there's one jungler dedicated to farming, which is Santorin on Italy, somewhat common for an Italy if they just want to get to Runeglade very quickly. And the other jungler is spending most of his time arriving in lanes. Definitely has a key part of Team Liquid getting that first turret.
Yeah, the first turret and a big CS lead for Piglet, so set up for success on this Sivir. First turret does translate into first dragon as well. For Team Liquid here, this should be no response from Team TSM as they're already sending the duo up top for that lane swap.
Interesting. Usually it's Team Solomid getting wild turtle to those turrets first, but the lane swap played nicely by Team Liquid. Now, hopefully netting them this dragon without any problems. Dominate's going to go back on that. Timer for everybody. About 15 on the clock as they go back for that. See if we get a push on top lane here. Squash back to the turret.
Yeah, and this is something that TSM actually did last game also. They swapped their duo first, and they actually left Dyrus in the lane until Turtle and Lessboy got there. Last time, they were able to chase down a kill, but not this time. Dyrus will go back down bottom lane. Bringing in the Nidalee range champion for extra pressure on the turret. Quas initiates on the 3 versus 3.
Glacial Fissure goes out. Quas's Vengeful Maelstrom trying to mitigate a bit of the damage coming in. It looks like a clean disengage for both teams. Few ultimates used. Not too many summoner spells, it looks like, across the board. Just Turtle Splash.
Yeah, strong peel.
Special as well.
From Lessboy to get off in that one. And mainly just a strong turret defense by Team Liquid. They are doing a much better job than last game of keeping up with the TSM rotations and not letting Jinx get some free time on other turrets. The fact that TSM has Jinx and Azir yet again means they do kill turrets very quickly if they can get their mitts on them. But Team Liquid doing a better wave clearing job and making sure they have even numbers everywhere TSM goes.
Liquid's still looking to hold that lead in the top lane. Much better season for him. A lot of deaths in the previous split, only about 22 in the games this season, so definitely a change.
Least killed, 80 carry in the LCS, who's played the games.
Some of the most deaths last split and the least amount of games, so kind of a very stark difference between his play style. The communication with the team has been a lot better. Him and Piglet, or I should say him and Xpecial, have been having much better lanes. You can see him here pressuring. Nice spell shield by Piglet there to keep that turret under fire in the top lane. Might have to pull a little bit of responsibility here from Santorin to the top, as also Dominate might make an appearance.
Yep, he's been spotted though, so TSM very well aware of the pressure that Team Liquid are trying to rotate up. Look at this, Phoenix also shoving his lane and moving in, while Bjergsen's actually doing the Raptor camp, so TSM have to back off. No pressure there from TSM from their mid lane. And Team Liquid claim another outer turret, 2-0 here.
Yeah. I mean, even the ward coverage is really lackluster for TSM, so that's one of the big reasons they're having to forfeit these turrets is because they're not having good advanced warning of where Team Liquid is going to be coming from, and they also can't prep plays of their own because they don't know how to outmaneuver Team Liquid. Definitely going to have to get some more coverage down if they want to.
Switch of last game.
Yeah,
Team Liquid is doing what TSM did, take top, take bottom, control the game a little bit. No kills just yet, however. Those definitely coming in slower as everybody plays with a bit of caution here. Forward wards placed by Team Liquid. The options are there to get a move if they find somebody they can pick off. But it looks like with that, some hard hats on, everybody's going to keep in a safe distance. Roaming in numbers as they get Scuttlecrab control here. Dragon still about 3 minutes off, so no chance to have that just yet.
But the control is so heavily on the side of Team Liquid, you would imagine that they can try and they can try and go for this next dragon. I mean, especially the fact that Wild Turtle's still up farming in that top lane. Basically got a BF sword and Arrows Blade on Piglet, but just a pickaxe on Wild Turtle, so Piglet is ahead in the farm game as well, getting a gold generation item as well as the big ticket first item. By the time the dragon comes, Wild Turtle should have his BF sword, but it's still just, it's actually been a very dominating first 12 minutes for Team Liquid as far as passive rotational games can go. 2 turrets to 0 was a big edge.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it going into Game 1. Team Liquid, during the normal season, had the biggest gold advantages in the early game. And back-to-back games here, got gold advantages in the early game. Dominate, able to land a cocoon in his own jungle, but headbutted to safety. Which just would have been a little bit of extra harass. It's not a big deal there.
Yeah. No taking down Braum that quick, especially at these levels. Still, 6 has been hit across the board. Obviously, we're getting towards level 11, but we haven't seen too many ultimate fights just yet. Just a scuffle in the top lane. But when that level 11 hits, definitely going to get powered up pretty well for these mid laners. Bjergsen gets blue. Let's see actually where he is. It looks like he's a minion wave off of that 11, so might be able to use that here. Bottom lane gets pushed. Looks like we're going to have Dyrus pushing that out. The ping came as well from Wild Turtle and Mustboy, so they may try to make something work here.
Yeah, especially with 2 turrets down. Notice the big difference in the way Quas plays Maokai this game versus Dyrus last game. Home guard's already on his Mercury treads. Team Liquid has a lead in turrets, and they're going to want to push it probably as a prep for the dragon fight. I'm really expecting Team Liquid to do some type of home guard teleport play and really take control of this game in about a minute when dragon comes up.
And they already have deep wards in TSM's red side jungle to do it. So Quas already prepped, shoving the wave in top as well. Will TSM be able to clean all of these wards out in time? Trying to make it work now.
No, they found a pink one. Good little return on investment there for their effort. And they're going to get a good sweep there. So a little bit of control given back to them. Like you said, though, Special plays some good wards, allowing Piglet to farm a little bit farther up, stay safe. It looks like Team Liquid's going to just grab resources right now. They're not worried about what TSM is really doing on the other side of the jungle. Very calm game here in the quarterfinal playoff match. Both teams really want to be able to get that top spot. And with Liquid's first year being this far up, I feel like that's more for them to lose. This is the chance they have to really make a mark for that brand, for that team.
So Quas actually is not sitting on Fountain to prep a teleport while the dragon is being started. Instead, he's running up to the top wave. A lot of that does have to do with TSM not being anywhere near. They have wards within their own jungle, so they know TSM at best could hope for a steal. Not today. Well, it was today, not this game.
It was only
Wild Turtle gets
less than an hour ago, Jack.
The Wild Turtle can steal an objective. Very controlled by Team Liquid. But it is successfully traded for a turret.
For one in that aspect. How much damage Dyrus can do. It doesn't look like too much. Quas obviously doesn't want to take the harass, but could start to engage if somebody else comes to give him a hand. And they're just going to go back and forth on that top side. Turtle easy farm in the bot. He's still behind quite a bit and has not been able to find the 4 or 5 kills he immediately got last game to really get TSM catapulted into the lead. This time, as I said, it seems a little bit harder as they can't find those fights. Less errors from Team Liquid, making the game harder for TSM here as it would.
Just much better vision and wave control for Team Liquid this game. Game 1, even though they had good CS advantages, they were getting out-rotated by TSM. This time, though, early double Sightstone coming out. Also, just tremendous wave clear. When you consider Sivir and Victor, those are, for their position, 2 of the best wave clearers, especially in the early game.
Definitely first in class.
Yeah, once Victor gets level 7, he can clear the back wave with 1 death rate. One of the few champions that can full clear a minion wave with a spell at level 7. So very hard for TSM to get wave advantages in order to get the deep wards, but they've managed it now, thanks to sacrificing a dragon.
And you look at that on the other side as well. TSM doesn't have excellent wave clear, or hardly any. Azir can throw out some soldiers and rockets from Wild Turtle, but I don't know about this fight. Wow, nice dodge by Piglet. The flash and the spell shield out. Are they going to be able to save him here? Piglet stays alive with just a sliver of health, and they take down Dyrus in a deep dive.
He actually survives there. Special, the bodyguard, comes in on Alistar to save the
Absolutely
day.
crazy.
Piglet also fainting down, out, and then flashing back above the turret.
Yeah.
What a great juke right there.
Held his summoner spell, or I'm sorry, heal summoner as well, even though he was super low for that extra engage knowledge that he had. He knew he could go back in.
Great mechanics.
Really knowing the barriers of his champion.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Darius thought he was going to get the finishing blow after he crunched him into the wall right there. He just heals. Oh my God.
This auto attack was in progress. He had just started the animation.
And the next
special
special hit him.
interrupts him.
Crazy, crazy stuff. Pushing the mid turret, Team Liquid get a lot of nice map control off of that. They're easily able to drop this one down. A little bit of time to think about what they want to do next. So the lead goes in their favor. Once they've got it, they can hold on to it. Let's see this one more time here, what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, impromptu 5v5. TSM is there first, so they're the ones that are orchestrating the play. Everyone just goes into full peel mode. Piglet is so fast, and
He took the house, too?
because that was a house in transit.
Yeah, he took the house and
What happened to the house?
And comboed the auto attack. Special knockdown the house.
Great play. Definitely needed a replay, and we see how Piglet really got himself out with the help of his support. Again, that communication between those two much better coming out through the split.
Communication is help,
Help me!
help,
Come over! Hey, it still works. It's the simple words, right? Simple ones. Let's see if TSM can work something now. They still want to go bottom. They still want this turret. And I don't know if they're actually going to be able to get it here. Lust Boy figures he can get a little bit of damage onto Piglet and finish that turret, but he takes a turret shot of his own. And they are once again forced off for their efforts. Now not coming up with a turret in the bottom lane. They're going to have to figure out something else to do.
It's real dangerous for them to be pushed up there, too, because they have no turret behind them. So that was kind of their window in order to get that turret early. Lust Boy's getting as many deep wards as possible. But he's in a...
He was very dangerous. There was no movement from Team Liquid. He could have been pinched by 3 members, but...
Oh, they stopped his recall.
Got the slow on him, too.
Nice. Can the Winter's Bite connect? It does. Spell Shield was on for something else to hit him. That follows through. The crowd controls there. A Javelin to take down Piglet. Their efforts very nicely done. They knew his flash and heal was why not.
Lust Boy's
Down.
risky ward journey allowed that to be a safe dive as
That's
well.
true.
Because he had all of the possible deep vision and they knew the teleport was down, so they could just go all in on Piglet. One risk gives a nice payoff there, gets to kill in the turret.
TSM always able to inch themselves back with something. Somehow they find it. Team Liquid thought they had a pretty good lead and control of their own jungle, but that is never the case against TSM. Spikes being hit across the board and items. You have your Infinity Edges being built up. Piglet should actually have quite a bit of money to spend himself. Actually, does not. He finished up his boots after that Avarice Blade, so that's where his money went to Azeel on the other side for Wild Turtle. Looks like Santorin's getting himself pretty big as well. The Abyssal Scepter to be finished up next. He's already at 300 gold on that completion. And he'll start to be doing a lot of damage. Santorin's Nidalee has just come up so strong. And I remember interviewing back and saying, you know, why the Nidalee again? He's like, I always played Nidalee. I don't know why everybody else doesn't. I was always on this champion. Now I get to play it because it's in it.
It's kind of crazy
Everybody
that he didn't
is.
play it at all during the summer split regular season, despite having so much success with it in the spring. But that was along the greater lines of TSM restructuring the way they consider win conditions and being more of a team-oriented damage source and actually being okay to bring damage from the jungle and tank threats and support threats from elsewhere. Re-enables him to play Nidalee again.
Also, wanting to be a team that creates their own advantages rather than having him farm the jungle, having him be there on a tank just for the team fights. Enabling Santorin with Nidalee and with Elise is part of the step number 1 in that thought process.
Yeah, and as far as your own plays go, Team Liquid is already up 2 dragons to 0, so this 3rd dragon is actually very critical. Unlike Game 1, 5 dragons would be a potential win condition for Team Liquid. TSM, though, with some ward coverage, Quas this time is sitting on the fountain for a teleport. This is maybe Team Liquid looking for the play.
What does he have? They have a nice Tri-Brush ward that could be used here, but Dominic's
Phoenix
taking
is so
damage.
far away, though.
Boss is patient. He's just sitting on the fountain. He wants to find the home guard play. Basically, in order to pull off this home guard play, TSM would start the dragon, and then the home guard TP will come
Phoenix
in.
is still split.
There it is.
He's so far away. It's the Tri-Brush. It's going to be a long fight.
Home guards in. He's going to be in there. Shurima tries to divide him out. I don't think this one's going to work for Team Solomid to get any more engages on. A bit of a scuffle back and forth in the beginning, but even trying to assess that one, Team Liquid was saying, wait, the wall keeps pushing us out. Team Solomid is still able to come up with that one, though.
All of TSM's wards inside the blue quadrant of Team Liquid's jungle see Phoenix. Every move that Phoenix is trying to make from the mid lane to come down and join them. And they take these small windows of opportunity where they know that he won't be there immediately to get a lot of harass down onto Dominate and poke out TSM, or poke out Team Liquid.
Yeah. For all the time investment of that home guard teleport, Quas isn't able to make much of a play. They did have the flank attack primed, but it looked like Bjergsen's Emperor's Divide just kind of smoothly disengaged the fight.
Also, Team Solomid kind of forcing the fact that, oh, Dominate's out, let's get damage onto him. He was a quarter health before they even started that fight.
That was huge.
Really working things in their favor, setting them up as they need to be for TSM to continue trying to grab a lead here. They're only down 500 gold, still anybody's game. Turrets in favor of Team Liquid right now means they've dropped the outer 3, but TSM's been doing a good job at keeping Team Liquid out of their side of the jungle. 24 minutes in, Lustboy walking around, making sure he's clearing wards with that upgraded trinket. Uh-oh. May not find what he wants here. TSM got caught quite a few times here by Gravity in their games when they played in the quarterfinals. Or semifinals, I should say. There's a kill, though. Dominate's able to repel into position, get that onto Lustboy. 2-1 now. TL picks up another one.
Yeah, there was so much time prepping wards on the other side of the map that on their home turf, it was Team Liquid who was able to sneak in, and now they extend the play.
Whoa, onto Turtle as well. That's the danger of trying to guard a second-tier turret. You could just be routed through the backside, and Team Liquid get a nice hit onto Turtle there. We'll see what they can do after this. Mid-wave is centered, nothing to push in the bottom, so they may just leave.
Yep, all the talking about Lustboy's wards ends up being outplayed there by Team Liquid. They go exactly where they can't be seen, and they surprise TSM on 2 accounts. The first one was a surprise on Lustboy. The second one, Wild Turtle probably should have been back because that was an easy-to-prep dive by the rest of Team Liquid, and it was successful.
Looking a lot stronger this game. Looks like they had the right talk necessary in the downtime between games here. Team Solomid really didn't have to adapt to anything. Pretty much trying to play the same game, and Team Liquid gets to figure that out this time. They're the ones who really had the kind of chance to change up their game here, and they did.
Again, Team Liquid, all of their gold advantage, though, is pretty much in the turrets that they've taken. So they're still standing gold on the map for TSM if they get that team fight victory. You know, if they're able to rely upon the Azir and Jinx of being safe towards one of these mid-game team fights, then they will be able to make it up if they are able to get control of the map. And Liquid do not want to let them have it.
And we really haven't gotten to see the big explosive team fights. We've seen team fights that have been disengaged. A lot of move speed coming in from Sivir, a lot of good disengage that we have from TSM.
I was talking about moments last game and how I thought TL kind of had more, right? The Azir play, Dominate Sej ults, the Piglet steal, but Wild Turtle's moments last game still can happen just as much this game. He's back on the Jinx. Like you said, we haven't seen a big explosive fight yet, and that could really start to pull things in their favor.
Big difference this game. He's not 6-0 at the 20-minute mark because Team Liquid has been able to dodge these team fights. And if we're looking at which team has a better team fight composition, it is definitely Team Liquid this time. They have much more crowd control, reliable damage dealers, strong front line. So they also even have the better flank potential with the home guard Maokai. They're going for Turtle again. He has both summoners.
Oh, there's a flash. Oh, he was trying to time it, but Xpecial waited it out.
So smart there from Xpecial. Most people would immediately go for the good-looking headbutt into the wall for the headbutt stun and then followed up with the pulverize, but he waits out the flash and gets it. Really, really well played there by Xpecial.
You know, things feel good when you have that much time to make a play and continue to assess it as you're doing it. It means that TSM really spreading themselves thin here to continue keeping themselves in the game, or at least stay constant. Turtle farming alone has been picked off twice now by Team Liquid in the same spot. And that time he did not have a second-tier turret to hide behind, so it was that much easier. Liquid's in the right spot at the right times right now because of all of these wards. Great vision control so far.
Also good wave clear. They're really using this later Sivir pick to much success. even the Victor pick, he has been able to out-pressure Bjergsen in this mid lane. Bjergsen has been kind of taking his Raptors while he waits for the wave to arrive, meaning Phoenix is giving his team a little bit of a buffer to go in and place deep wards.
Look at the pink ward on the left side of the map. They know that Turtle again is out of lane. They're not going to go for it this time, but that pink ward has been there quite some time here, allowing them to know Turtle's not here, Turtle's somewhere else.
It's actually interesting. There's been a couple of those deep lane pink wards in both of these games. Game 1, Lustboy placed one in the bottom lane that lasted about 10 minutes. This game, again, looks like the support placed it on the opposite side of the map. This could be a new ward that is emerging in North America from scrims, potentially.
Think about that teleport as well.
They should also be checking it.
How often do you run in that brush when you're not, or just trying to not dive away from somebody? Just walk by it. Like this one. It's only become recent that people check this brush, the pixel brush now. That was walked by for millions of years previously. These changes, the evolution just coming through. Coming up on 30 minutes here. Nicer lead for Phoenix in that mid lane. Keeping Bjergsen down a bit. No roam really from the mid laners here have caused too much trouble for anybody, if any. Looks like it's going to come up to the next dragon for the next fight. Again,
Quas is prepped on the fountain. This means the Team Liquid is looking for a fight if the dragon contest comes in.
Dyrus is building up his rage bar on Gnar.
There's the TP top side. One's to mid lane. Quas is quite far away, but he has the flank. That's going to be onto Turtle. A lot of crowd control there. Turtle is trying to get himself out with hardly any peel right now. And 3 members are on to Quas. He is controlling this fight for the team. But can the team kill Dyrus? No, they can as he Gnars out. He's just too big.
It looked like Dyrus just zoned out the world in that fight. Team Liquid did not follow Quas through after their dragon. It is a dragon advantage, but a lost fight because of Quas getting not the follow from his team thanks to the Gnar zoning. Let's see if TSM can take any type of turrets off this one.
And it was so close. Turtle was on 100 HP just from the special and Quas combo to dive. But Bjergsen and crew were all able to huddle around him, keep him safe, and the heal from Santorin comes in.
And that type of huddling can be so devastating if it's not for the peel of the team, though, because when they all group up like that, imagine a world where Phoenix actually makes it through. One death rate gets 3 kills. This was such a close fight.
So there it is. Special starts it off going straight for the back line. They immediately get the cleanse and flash out of Bjergsen, and Quas follows on to Turtle.
That's the damage.
But
Piglet and Phoenix in a double stun.
Dyrus there just massive.
Yeah, that's the change in the fight. It was tank for tank, but he was able to shut down both damage sources.
And save his hop to escape, so.
That's a good call.
Huge, huge frontline play there. One-man frontline from Dyrus.
He's been stepping up his game. He said he wanted to play League of Legends, and he took it into his own hands, that's for sure. Quas only going to take a bit of side damage here from Dyrus. That harass is going to end soon. Actually might cause Dyrus a bit of trouble. Phoenix making sure they're not going to get flanked out. They have the wards to tell him that. But it seems like they're going to go for it anyways. Just a wet noodle fight for that bot lane.
Rather risky right there. As we see Phoenix uncharacteristically walk through the jungle without farming, I do want to kind of point out an interesting stat we found while we were preparing for this one. Never mind, fight in the mid lane, Severall.
Going to be on a Lustboy. Glacial Fisher is up. He can try to put the defense in. He jumps over to Santorin, trying to dodge out the skill shots, and it looks like they get to safety. So Severall down. They can kind of think about things and go put some wards out without being hunted down.
We're going to use that to try and get vision control around the Baron pit. Neither top laner with teleport right now as well. It's a bit of a dicey game.
Well, they're having fun in the bot lane. Back and forth there. Had TSM had wards, when Quas and Dyrus were fighting and they saw Phoenix, they might have grabbed Baron there. So, interesting plays here. Team Liquid kind of putting themselves in a dangerous situation. Team Liquid, or Team TSM, however, is now starting to get that Baron control. Possibly control onto Piglet. He gets himself out. Glacial Fisher is missed.
So quick on his feet right there, flashing and juking pretty much everything. That he was caught out of position for the most part, instead of following back towards the shield of his turret. But he ends up burning a Braum ultimate for his flash and still makes a clean escape, which is pretty impressive. It's Baron pressure and area control from TSM, but they're definitely trying to set up a big fight.
It's like both mid laners have popped that elixir of sorcery, so a little extra damage out of them. They're looking for a finalizing fight here. Hopefully an ace.
That one ward inside the Baron pit, making it so Team Liquid did not have to go face check there. Santorin does eventually see it expire.
Get the push around here. They're walking parallel to each other right down towards the mid lane. This is the dance, the Baron dance. They're not even there yet, but they're still back and forth. Control of vision, denial of vision. The ward game begins. Looks like we're gonna go back here from Piglet. He needs a little bit of mana. I don't know if that's gonna give TSM any time.
Also gets the completion on his Bloodthirster, so
Yeah.
pretty important amount of defensive statistics he has right now, especially if he's getting dove on by a Gnar or Azir. Doesn't want to get blown up like he did at the last game by an Azir. Overshield will be beneficial.
Front line for Team Liquid becoming more threatening now too, as the Righteous Glory is completed Onyx Special, allowing more people to follow up, so they can actually try and get some damage there. I mean, they've got Sivir plus Righteous Glory actives. This Team Liquid team can move very, very quickly. TSM do have to be very careful, keep up their defensive warding, and watch the positioning on their two endgame carries here with Bjergsen and Turtle.
Looks like teams are recalling to start prepping the next dragon. This 5 dragons is very important for Team Liquid to try and reach. And we were talking about Piglet not fitting in with the team earlier on in the split. So much of that had to do with disputes between Dominate and the rest of the team about who would be the carry. And they've actually been able to solve these, but it's in kind of an interesting way. So for post 15-minute jungle CS, Dominate is actually the lowest of all junglers in NA, because Piglet is actually the highest of all 80 carries for taking his own team's jungle after 15 minutes. Basically, Dominate is deferring the jungle farm to the 2 Koreans on his team. Quas doesn't farm the jungle either, so they're really, it's interesting too, because that's a very Korean style of jungle farming as well. The jungler is more of a support, whereas the carries get to take that jungle. What I like about Team Liquid is Dominate farms hard enough in the early game that he hasn't necessarily been relegated to a full supportive role, and it's worked nicely for Team Liquid.
You can see the same thing almost happening last split, but they were both trying to go for that jungle CS. Piglet would still be in the jungle. Dominate would still be in the jungle. You're not going to get much out of that when everybody's trying to farm. You get a lot more out of everybody being together and ready for dragon number 5 of the game. It will equal 4 or 2 for Team Solomid here. 4 for Team Liquid. That would put a big timer on the game for TSM to have to stop Aspect. Liquid
Dire's charging up.
Really get an upper hand here. Dire is charging. You're going to see Quas actually running off the base already.
Team Liquid just wants to withstand the Mega Gnar right here. They might lose their mid lane turret. We've seen this song and dance a few times before. Neither of the team fights have resulted in many kills.
Good play.
Great play for them rotating, but that cost the Mega Gnar. So now Team Liquid they've actually forgone their teleport home guard. This is a non-home guard teleport.
Where's the attack going to come from? It should just be dragon number 4. That was taken by Piglet. Xpecial taking a lot of damage on the front line, even with that unbreakable will on, but they're still throwing DPS into him. Surprise, Team Liquid has not been able to find a target to fight back on. Everything is in retreat right now. TSM's able to just fight from outside their range.
Yep, Team Liquid get the dragon at the cost of Quas's life there, and TSM are able to pressure after it to grab another kill. 2 members down. The front line for Team Liquid non-existent, and TSM rotate up to Baron.
Great block of the laser there by Lustboy. Phoenix is getting pretty low. They don't want to give up this Baron, but they give up so much in the dragon fight.
And ulti
Ult
combo.
over the wall. Look at that Victor damage.
Bjergsen, Lustboy very low. Small heals can come in from Santorin, but he can't save everybody. Phoenix just dodging. Nice guy blocked by Dominate to save Phoenix life there, and TSM is now pushed off of the Baron, giving TL a little time to breathe here. 4-4, 36 minutes in. Piglet's going to try to answer with what Bjergsen just did on the mid push, but doesn't feel safe enough to stay.
This game just keeps building and building with the dragons stacking up. Every dragon comes at a cost for Team Liquid. This cost was Quas and a Baron attempt from TSM. This was probably his worst TP yet, going straight into TSM on top of Flame Choppers without the rest of his team being able to follow or flank. It really is just a perfect setup for an Azir and a Jinx in a fight. Since they didn't have to fend for themselves, they got to do all of the forward damage on the Quas. But that teleport was basically used to zone Team Liquid's free time towards the dragon.
Yep, it was a sacrifice. And because of Phoenix play at Baron Pit, it did not end up costing them anything extra.
Oh. Dire sleeps out. He'll be safe for now. We did have Bjergsen just on the top side, ready to clear this. If TSM, if they back up into the jungle, TL still has vision. Don't know if they're going to fully want this. Still, Team Liquid, their engages look very back and forth, maybe miscommunication. They do want this one, though. Dyrus might be able to save himself as he nars 3 people against the wall, but there's still too much damage from Team Liquid. That's 1 pickup, but they're still quite afraid of just filing right into Team Solomid. So it's down the mid lane towards the inhibitor.
I think that was some miscommunication there. Dyrus actually defensively flashing out, but then re-engaging, and none of TSM following up. That means Team Liquid went straight for the inhibitor.
Yeah, the Azir ultimate is down as well, so there's no peel there. That's the fight for Team Liquid based off of a TSM miscommunication and a mistake. There were a few of those in the first game. They extended that one for TSM, but this time, the timer for Team Liquid's 5 Dragons is much closer, and opening the door to the TSM base is huge.
The positioning that Team Liquid has also set themselves in made that so easy to capitalize on. We saw the same thing last game. Dyrus was Maokai, they took him down in mid-turret. They basically got nothing off of that, except for the outer turret, though. This time it's an inhibitor because the game was already put in position that they could get that.
Yeah.
Definitely thinking about the next steps before they do something and engage.
I'm really fascinated by this game as it approaches the 5th Dragon, because this game actually fulfills a lot of the requirements needed for a team to get 5 Dragons and still lose the game, because the gold is very close. Also, the first Dragon by TSM will still give them that 6% of gold statistics leading up to it, and also the fact that every Dragon that Team Liquid has gotten has come at a cost. So they are selling themselves out to get those 5 Dragons. If they sell themselves out for the 5th Dragon, maybe that fight goes even more poorly. Dragon doesn't give you any defensive statistics, so if they're putting themselves in vulnerable situations, they could get zeroed out by a very high damage late game Azir. Obviously, it's still a big advantage to be stacking up towards 5 Dragons, but it is by no means an auto-win in this situation.
Especially if what you're sacrificing is your front line to do it.
It even factors into somewhat of that against a Pope team as well. If you can't get your engages, if you're always disengaged with 5 Dragons, what good is it? You might just get an Azir wall and some javelins to the face while you have it. Team Liquid trying to avoid that, get 5th Dragon, and run down the rest of the lanes here. Team Solomid out in mid, feeling comfortable. A few forward wards, just setting things up, waiting for a mistake or waiting for a play that they can make here. 40 minutes on the clock, long drawn-out game again. Bjergsen on Azir towards the late game.
Teleport from Dyrus way inside the jungle. They're going for the flank.
Going to be a hit onto Phoenix. He may be too far. Perfect Narbar adjustment for the fight. He's going to be able to stand there toe-to-toe with 4 members of Team Liquid, 5 members of Team Liquid, but 1 has already gone down, and Dyrus walks out, so the team can now go in and finish the rest of the damage. A nice ultimate in. It divides the entire team of Liquid, and they get taken down surgically by Team Solomid without even being able to re-engage the fight on their own terms.
1 teleport to decide it for TSM. Dyrus comes in. It was a great combination. Turtle's Super Mega Death Rocket landing at the right time to get the AoE explosion, and Bjergsen 1 more auto attack. Piglet trying to be a hero.
Not this time.
Nope. Not this time, though.
Yeah. That fight, Dyrus manages rage so well coming into that one.
Crazy.
And you can tell it really caught Team Liquid off guard, because you wait 40 minutes and suddenly you have this fast Gnar coming into you. Also that deep ward, I'll have to see how that got there, because it's a brilliant ward. Gets the Gnar. That tiny little wall is what Phoenix ends up walking into. He probably should have flashed away to preempt that. Because Phoenix got zeroed out before that, it allowed Team Solomid, a somewhat inferior team fighting team, to get the team fight positioning. When you have Mega Gnar and an Azir in that window, they can have the strength, and they did it to take out the victor. What a massive swing in this game. And it also synchronizes with this Dragon that they now are contesting.
Oh, Dyrus goes mini and gets chunks, but so does Piglet.
That ward you were questioning, chat, was just a solo mission deep ward by Lustboy. Rolling by himself through the jungle. Pays off, setting the pieces in motion. So with that teleport down, Dyrus now sticks with the team. This Dragon is on the table. They want to make sure they can get that same amount of damage they've been getting on to dominate the rest of the teams before they can start it. Dragon number 5 has staved off once more. The second one over to Team Solomid here, and the game will continue with that option on the table for Team Liquid. But again, Team Solomid in the late game is getting very, very strong. 304 for both Santorin and Bjergsen.
I mean, it all extends back to the play from the teleport, which was all set up by a deep ward from Lustboy a few minutes prior.
No reason, just a solo mission. Felt like going in. Nice Nicely done by Team Solomid. Picking up a little bit more, getting the minion waves pushed up here. They don't want to spread themselves out thin, so playing it very, very safe. Walk out together, just placing a few more wards. I guess that's not really adaptation between games. Team Solomid kind of playing
Gotta catch them all.
We're stronger with this composition, so we're gonna run it again.
Putting up the shield there for the extra speed boost.
Helps.
Something you don't note all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy how these
Promise pretty
45-minute and 50-minute games can come down to seconds or fractions of a second. The war that Dyrus teleported in on had about 10 seconds left before it expired. So the window for that play was ever shrinking. And even now, they still don't have the game completely in hand. The 5th Dragon is still a threat. Team Liquid still has a huge amount of crowd control. They also can pull off a home guard initiation.
You're absolutely right. These games have been so close, neck and neck with Team Liquid and TSM. This one definitely going the distance as well. Already past 43 minutes into the game.
Well, the history only says it's going to be 1-1 in both the spring and the summer split. These guys equal out games all the time, and it usually comes down to some 5-man crazy team fight ultimate 50 minutes into the game.
Literally the last 3 games have been a spectacular play by the Azir in the last team fight. We are kind of set up for that to happen again.
He did one already.
That's the third. Yeah.
Oh! I felt that. It hurts a little bit. Dominate down to half HP. Not that he's going to be super help at guarding the turret here. If they start to get a bit of damage on, he'll go back, heal, and be able to home guard out. So he'll be right as rain. Looks like boards are going to be cleared out. Pinks even being pushed forward here by Team Solomid. Definitely shows that they feel like they can guard him. They just kind of camp out here on this side of Team Liquid. Top side of the map. There's the ultimate from Sivir. Piglet gonna go in, but still stay on the back. Try to help the team. Ross in a very good spot. Turtle goes down. Bjergsen's ultimate completely to disengage the fight. They flash over the wall. They want the chase here. I don't think Phoenix is gonna be able to catch on this one. They're gonna go back towards the back down to try and grab Dyrus. Only 1 kill there.
Man, Quas got hosed right there. Like, I understand why the interaction happened. I need to explain this because it looked really strange. When the Azir uses his ultimate, the soldiers follow the terrain. So it's potential to have 2 soldiers directly behind each other. And unless your entire model is over top of the soldiers when you flash in, you get bounced back. So basically, there was the front of the wall that Quas tried to go in on.
Here.
We'll see it as it gets to the play. The rest of this replay, slightly missed initiation by Team Liquid, but they still close on a Wild Turtle, which gets them the kill. And then watch the way this Azir wall goes into the terrain. There's 2 sand soldiers right behind it, so Quas flashes into the second one, and it knocks him all the way over.
Phoenix does it right.
If that hadn't been placed just like that, Quas would have probably picked up Bjergsen, and that would be to both carries down on TSM.
And the other big thing that's terrible for Team Liquid after that is TSM. They already took the teleport play first, and they already took all the objectives off the map. So even after that big win for Team Liquid, getting to the backline carries, getting the correct home guard teleport, and taking down Turtle, there's nothing for them to gain afterwards.
Yeah, Solomid always setting themselves up to do something. That time, like you said, not able to get much. Team Liquid forcing a few things, but after we saw that top turret go down, that was after the inhibitor already. It's like they're getting less and less now as Team Solomid figures out how that composition is trying to work around them. And right now, it's just to press R on Piglet and hope they are in range to get these fights. Team Solomid spent quite a bit of time on the side of Liquid there for that top turret without getting it. Doesn't mean they cannot go back. It doesn't look like Team Liquid has really any way of stopping Team Solomid from approaching these turrets right now. 1 minute onto Dragon. That's obviously going to be a big option here.
They're just going to run around the wall.
Yep, not going to do much. They're on to Lustboy, however. Glacial Fisher comes out. The teleport from Dyrus is just going to be behind the team. Does not look like they'll be able to get much out of it. Oh, doggy!
That's
Taking
2
down the
deaths
cow.
now. 60-second death timers with objectives coming up in 50 and 45. I wonder how much TSM gets out of this. Bjergsen barely being able to run away. I thought Team Liquid was just going to follow him into the brush, but they got distracted by a giant Braum or something, and they ended up losing the fight.
Yeah, they ran right for Lustboy.
Really strange change of direction there by Team Liquid. It's going to cost them a lot of their base.
Especially the farther lane from Baron. That bot lane now Gonna have to be hit up by Dyrus. Hopefully his teleport is, I'm sorry, Quas, and hopefully his teleport is going to be up for that situation because Baron very much on the plate now for TSM.
Yeah, that is so big to get a bottom inhibitor right before the spawn of Baron, and the minion wave is already pushed up into Team Liquid's base.
Yeah.
TSM can set up and gain vision control around Baron really easily. So there's the wall. They do get slowed. Lustboy is able to land the Winter's Bite, and they close them off. So
and there's a perpetual slow from that Braum ultimate if you're trying to run over it as well. But Team they're trying to preempt the Baron, but they can't quite get it down.
Yeah.
That could have been a genius play, but now they're caught out a bit.
Yeah. Ooh. That zone control from TSM in that last fight, though, we keep talking about the area that Braum can control, and they really combined it so well with Azir there for that kiting.
Santorin popped his on, he's in the brush.
Happens. Just want to look good. Bjergsen soloing the Dargon.
He's got his soldiers to aid him.
4-3. We're going to go all the way up to 9 dragons on this one. See who gets number 5 first. If the game goes that far, we're coming up on to 50 minutes once again. These teams' average times reaching around that 40-minute mark. Already going to push it a little farther this time as they did last game. TSM kind of on their side, not really worried about too much. Get ready, prep themselves, move up as a team. They're waiting for Bjergsen to get back after just taking that dragon. 71,000 to 76. One of the bigger gold leads we've actually seen is it just tears between a few thousand here of Team Liquid and Team Solomid. Still, I could say anybody's game here. Good fight, a good Chaos Storm from Phoenix, something we have not seen here yet with crowd control of Quas and Xpecial on priority targets. Many times Dyrus has been able to wall both Phoenix and Piglet or be on the back line and keep the DPS out. Team Liquid's not getting the fights they want for sure.
No, which is somewhat surprising considering they have so much initiation.
Yeah.
Sivir, Alistair, Elise, Maokai with Home Guard. But the peeling has been proper for TSM. The limited tank line they have with Dyrus and Lustboy has been able to peel away. Even so, we saw the danger if they can get on Wild Turtle and not get completely destroyed by Bjergsen's Azir. I mean, these are 2 mega threats that they have to deal with on TSM side. It's a Zeke's Harbinger 4-item Jinx and a max item Azir. They kind of have to get both of them if they're going to be diving in completely.
And Turtle is looking to go defensive after this too. The Banshee's Veil under construction.
Yep. Trying to stay safe. Not too much damage that's going to pretty much front-end him out of a fight. He'll take a laser and not like it, but very good buy there to keep himself safe. Santorin, a little bit of a solo mission on the top side with a few spears to take down that turret, and another forward ward place, just about the same one Dyrus was able to teleport to, giving TSM enough vision to slightly engage.
Yeah.
Still, Dominate keeps coming out of these with like half HP. Not his day.
That inhibitor has given TSM so much control. They melt the Baron. Whoa.
I blinked. What?
Pick it up almost instantly here, and now they're on the chase.
Second time that Dominate's had to flash from Turtle. Those rockets are on point if they're missing. Get summoner spells out of the enemy team otherwise. So we have reached the 50-minute mark. Things are getting tighter for Team Liquid to be able to pull out of this rut right now, and Team Solomid is going to start forcing down the mid lane. Super minions in hand.
Big push. Jinx and Azir can take this turret super quick, and there's not the players in position to stop this. But TSM didn't know that. They could have actually taken that real easy. Looks like they should get it anyway. One more.
Should I go in? Should you hit it? Ah, the siege minion has it. Nice baroned up minions to help from long range. Can't really do much about it. And they do have the finalizing hits. Dyrus again with the Narbar at the right time. Something that wasn't equaling or happening for Quas in the last game and affected the fights greatly.
Oh, so, well, his Meganar was running out anyways. As soon as the Meganar comes out, expect Team Liquid to fight.
Special, he can't get the target he wants. He's kind of stuck around Lustboy. They are able to drop Turtle one more time. There was a huge disengage from TSM last time, and again, they get to the spot they want. They didn't want that, though. A good hit from Piglet takes down Santorin. Piglet and Dominate are both very low, and that's pretty much the case for everybody on the side of Liquid. Bjergsen just able to fight with the soldiers on the outside.
Nobody from Team Liquid goes down yet, though, and they can send someone back for home guards. Quas is on the way with the speed boost. Bjergsen barely gets the inhibitor before Quas comes barreling down mid lane.
Whoa, that is such a close fight. You can see
close.
the damage that Bjergsen throws out. But now that's 3 people dead on TSM for 50 seconds. And even though there were 2 downed inhibitors, 1 just respawned, so there's no immediate threat right there. Unless there's a super on it. There is a super minion on their inhibitor, so someone might have to go back for that one. Either way, this is Team Liquid trying to at least trade an inhibitor of some
Phoenix
kind.
going back already.
Yeah, they can't trade.
Probably do a lot more if Bjergsen had died at least once in this 2 series so far. But he has not. Or he died last series, I'm sorry. That was Wild Turtle. But this series, staying up, always able to defend, use that Emperor's Divide to clean up the fights. Still able to set up those inhibitor turrets with his Sun turret. So keeping things safe. Turtle, however, did die.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the Mega Gnar runs out, you needed to expect Team Liquid to fight because they were getting sieged out immediately.
Get out of your base.
And they just flash pulverize Wild Turtle, hit him back in. That's the one, and then they were kind of in position to get funneled on by the Azir, and you can see how much damage Bjergsen does in that corridor, but they took out one of the Mega Threats, and that was enough.
Yeah, and Gnar using the ultimate just to throw, dominate through the gate. It doesn't even act as a wall, doesn't even get the stun on him. Single person just throws him out of his own base.
Walks right back in.
So without that threat, Dyer's transforming back into mini Team Liquid.
Yep.
And we'll get some kills for themselves and make sure that they don't have to deal with this double stacked supers. Which is the most difficult. 40 seconds on that dragon.
A little bit of that farm game coming into play. 508 CS to 408 for Wild Turtle. And you can see that dominates less than Santorin's. That trade-off of CS they play now on the side of Team Liquid. Hopefully getting Piglet big enough to stay alive in these fights and do what he needs to do.
And if you're going to have an inhibitor down while trying to contest Dragon, the mid inhibitor is the one you want. Because Team Liquid can make quick movements towards the mid lane to try and stop the super minions from crashing down on their base and still fight over this 5th dragon. However, this is the most dangerous dragon of the game since they now have a 6,000 gold deficit and have struggled in some of these fights before.
TP above. Gnar's not going to be built up this time, but Dominate did take a spear previously. They're still going to try to go into Dyrus. They know a small Gnar can be easy to kill. Quas on the other side of the wall. He tried to take the high road. He's going to go down. Team Liquid dodges out on the rocket. I was looking to see if Turtle could get that one to land. TSM's over the wall. They're on to Liquid now. That's Bjergsen trying to come up with a kill, but the repel comes out. Dominate lives for a second, but he's eventually going down in that one. 4 members down now for Team Liquid. They're going to clean up Xpecial, and they're going to be heading for the base. They leave the cow to live.
But Santorin goes back to try and get him, actually.
Santorin, the green boy, they can just go pushing in the game.
They want the Nexus, but Santorin wants an extra kill for his score.
The Dane trying to bring the pain. I don't know if he's going to get it. He's going to try to follow the cow and get the rest of his dinner. Finishes that one up, turns him into ground beef. 5, that's the ace. 15 to 11 this time. 55 minutes in, TSM takedown Team Liquid for game 2.
And that was an incredibly close game, 55 minutes in its entirety. Ultimately, though, Quas was caught at the very end in a very pivotal team fight, and despite getting home guard so early on into the game, it just wasn't Team Liquid being able to find fights ever that were good.
Again, the late game clutch here for TSM, and they're able to take a 2-0 lead in this best of 3, looking to go meet up with CLG, who 3-0'd their quarterfinals.
Coming through again, Nidalee, Azir, CT Solomid coming through with a lot of the same picks. They did the same thing with Olaf and Nidalee as well in the Gravity series. If it's working for them, they stick with it and just try to let the other team work around it. It's working for them.
Yeah, the 2-0 puts tremendous amounts of pressure on Team Liquid, especially in a game like this where they had control for a lot of the game and just weren't able to ultimately execute their team composition. They were the ones with the home guard teleport Maokai and the Alistair to create hard initiation opportunities onto a Jinx, and so seldom were they able to get the right initiation.
That game-changing teleport on the ward that's about to expire for Dyrus, and the TSM follow-up was just executed so well.
For all the small things like Piglet living in the early game, the small things came for TSM in the late game, and that's when we're really seeing things matter. Teams can get a few good kills in that early game, but still lose ground whenever that mid game happened. Bad objective, bad turret.
Yeah. Team Liquid